What's up? There is probably a reason you clicked on this video. Maybe you relate, or you're curious, or maybe you think this is going to be funny. Well, it's not. You see, from around the age of 7 or 8 years old, I was addicted to pornography and constant self-stimulation. I'm 17 and a half now, and I've mostly escaped it. And what I'm about to tell you isn't something people talk about seriously because everyone says that it's normal or healthy or every guy does it. But I'm here to tell you what it really did to me and what it might be doing to you. Have you ever wondered why nobody talks about this addiction? Think about cigarettes. On every pack it says smoking causes cancer. Or alcohol. Everyone knows it destroys lives, even coffee. There are people they admit they can function without it. But pornography, there are no warning labels. The only rule you see is 80 plus only. And let's be real, nobody really cares when a 13-year-old boy watches it. People laugh it off and saying that it's normal. But here's the thing. Modern high-speed internet has only existed for about 25 or 30 years. And smartphones even less. And we are the first generation in history with unlimited explicit content in our pockets 24/7, and there hasn't been enough time for society to fully understand the long-term psychological impact. So we call it normal, but normal doesn't mean harmless. Alright, so the first thing this addiction has taken from me is mainly confidence. That's the first thing. It was how low my confidence actually was. You know, those moments you're at the store and the cashier asks you something simple and then you slaughter, just simply slaughter, and you say like yeah three times and then you feel awkward for no reason. That lack of presence, that insecurity is not random, and when you constantly give in to impulses, you train your brain that your emotions are in control, but they actually aren't. And think about it. You don't plan to open those websites. You don't sit down calmly and say like at 7:42 p.m. I will do this, because it's not something logical. It's impulsive, emotional. And every time you give in, you enforce this pattern. Like, I feel it, I act on it. And over time, that spills into real life. And then you hesitate, you avoid discomfort, and you let moods decide your actions. Like, when you have something important to do, you won't do it. You know it's important to do it, but you are just a slave of your emotions. And confidence isn't about feeling good. Confidence is doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. And when you regain control over your impulses, something changes. You walk differently, you speak differently, you don't feel controlled because you aren't. The second thing it took away from me, this garbage, is energy, drive, motivation, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not talking about being tired. I'm talking about that inner fire. Like when you want to achieve a goal and you have that motivation before applying that discipline, and that let's go feeling, the desire to improve, to build something, to go to the gym, to work on your goals. And instead it becomes like, I don't feel like it today, I'll start tomorrow. It's not that serious. I think you went through this. And here's why that happens. Your brain is wired around reward. Like, let's go back in time and think about it. The historically effort was leading to success, and then attraction, and then status, and then reproduction. And that cycle pushed men to build cities, create businesses, invent technology, and take risks. But when your brain receives artificial reward constantly without effort, it gets confused. It thinks like, mission accomplished. Why should I strive, or improve, or compete? Because you've trained your mind to receive the reward without earning it. And when the rewards come without effort, drive disappears. The third thing that it was taken from me, it was desensitization and escalation. That's another dangerous part, desensitization. And no one starts with extreme content, like it's gradual, just like cigarettes. First it's once in a while, then weekly, daily, then multiple times a day, and then your brain adapts, and what used to excite you becomes normal, and what used to feel intense becomes boring as well. So you look for stronger stimulation, more extreme content, more novelty, more intensity, and that's how addiction works. Not because you're weak, but because your brain adjusts to repeated high dopamine spikes, and over time, real life feels less exciting, and real conversations feels dull, real relationship requires effort, and your brain wants instant stimulation instead. And that's where things get dangerous. The last thing, and probably the worst one, and the most important that this has taken from me, is attraction and real connections. One of the hardest truths I had to accept was this: when you constantly consume artificial intimacy, your brain struggles to respond to the real intimacy. Then you don't feel as motivated to pursue real connection, you don't feel the same spark, or you might even feel anxious during real interactions, because your brain got used to control, fantasy, and instant gratification. And real relationships require vulnerability, confidence, effort, patience, and you've trained yourself to avoid discomfort. Those become hard, extremely hard. But just because you go through these things that I used to, doesn't mean it's over. There was a moment for me, a wake-up call, a moment where I realized if I don't fix this now, it's only going to get worse and worse, because addictions don't shrink with time. They grow, and the longer you feed them, the stronger they become. And I'm not here to shame anyone, because I went through it. I know how silent it is, I know how normal it feels. But if you feel drained or less confident, like you've lost your drive, maybe it's not random. Maybe it's something you're feeding every day and you have to figure it out. And if that's the case, you can stop. I'm not saying it will be easy, because it won't. It will be extremely hard. But neither is living controlled by impulses. So, take back control, because discipline, instant restriction is freedom. And if this helped you, share it with someone who needs to.